time for the third installment of GrowLabs. What are GrowLabs? They are visual training in how to use the Grow method in your ABC groups as you read the Bible together. In this GrowLab, we'll be focusing on just one verse, Titus 2, verse 14. Who gave himself for us to redeem us from all wickedness, and to purify for himself a people that are his very own, eager to do what is good. So let's start with step 1. Collect and consider observations from the text. My first observation is the subject who, and what he's done for us, gave himself for us. Who is the who? Well, gave himself for us is a big clue, but verse 13 puts it beyond doubt. It's Jesus, of course. And what did Jesus do? He gave himself. Jesus freely and self-sacrificially went to the cross. And he did so for us. He went to the cross because of us and in our place. So this first part of the verse explains Jesus' death as a substitutionary sacrifice. My second observation is that there are two to's that follow: to redeem us from and to purify for himself. Let's consider the first two. To redeem us from all wickedness. To redeem is to deliver from captivity or slavery by payment of a price. We were captive as slaves to wickedness, but Jesus died to deliver us. At the greatest price, the death of the Son of God himself, we have been completely set free. And he freed us not just from some sin, but all wickedness. Let's now consider the second two: to purify for himself a people that are his very own, eager to do what is good. So while redeem is a slavery image, to purify is a temple image. To enter God's presence in the temple, a person had to be cleansed by washing with water and by a substitute sacrifice. This teaches us that sin makes a person unclean and unable to come near to God, who is pure and holy. But verse 14 tells us that Jesus' death purifies us from the stain of sin. And he does so that we would belong to him. See the repetition that emphasizes for himself and his very own. And notice that he doesn't simply purify a person, but a people. Jesus' purpose isn't to cleanse disconnected individuals, but a whole people, a whole community that belong to him and to each other. As Jesus' purified people, this community will intentionally and actively pursue godliness together. Now let's move to step 2. How do these observations connect together? Well, we saw that the first part of the verse is a short but powerful statement of the gospel, of what Jesus has done to save us. This is then followed by two twos. The two telling us that these are purpose statements. So why did Jesus die our death on the cross? What was his purpose? Well, here verse 14 tells us he gave himself to save us from and to save us for. Jesus gave himself to save us from sin, and Jesus gave himself to save us for him. And this is what gives us our new identity and purpose. Those who are saved by Jesus belong to Jesus and not to sin. Because Jesus gave himself, we don't give ourselves to ungodliness. Rather, we live godly lives because we are Jesus' people who now love to do what is good.